Next, we have Claudia Zapata, and she is also running for Texas Congressional District 21. Good afternoon, Claudia, and you will have 4 minutes and then 90 seconds for Q&A.
All right, thank you. Hi, Jeff. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I hope that everyone's having a great Sunday evening. Thank you so much for having this and hosting this for us. I really appreciate it. And it's always fun hearing from the other candidates in the other races as well. So my name is Claudia Andriana Zapata, and I am running for U.S. Congress in Texas's 21st Congressional District against Chip Roy. I come from a long line of strong, hard-headed Tejanas who have instilled in me the core values of hard work, taking care of others, and putting family first. And that is truly how I have decided to run this race, is by putting and making sure that I am honoring my Tejana roots and values by fighting for us and by fighting for rural communities of color. I am a current community organizer. I've organized alongside many of you in Kyle, Buda, San Marcos, Dripping Springs, Wimberley, you name it, I have been there. I was a former legislative aide in HD 46 at the Texas Capitol for 2 years. And I specifically wrote and developed Health and Human Services policy, which I'm very, very proud of. And then for the last 4 years, I worked at the Texas Health and Human Services Commission as a workforce and budget analyst. And in that role, it was my duty to deal with the effects of our poor Texas leadership that we have at the moment. And I had to use whatever available resources and infrastructure we currently had in order to serve those that are in assisted living facilities, nursing facilities, childcare, whether it be residential or business, or those that are within foster care as well, or state hospitals, to make sure that we have the resources for our employees, for our state employees, to be able to carry out their duties in the field and answering abuse, neglect, and exploitation cases. One of the things that I am most proud of that I was able to do was work alongside our Deputy Executive Commissioner and our Chief Policy and Regulatory Officer to be able to go down to the legislator and explain that we have a backlog of cases, whether they're abuse and neglect in foster care or in nursing facilities, because of the high turnover that stems from a lack of pay. So we were able to gather this data and go down to the legislator and fight for what is called recruitment and retention dollars. So it's basically like an added bonus after your check or after the taxes are taken out. And so I'm very proud that I was able to do that and advocate for Texans all across the state. I am fighting for food accessibility. 98% of TX21 are located within USDA defined food deserts, meaning individuals do not live within 20 miles of a grocery store. Just last year alone, there were over 115,000 food insecure families living within the district. I am fighting for universal health care. But not just insurance, because what good is insurance if you don't have a doctor's office or hospital to be able to actually use it at? In rural Texas, we face a lack of that crucial healthcare infrastructure. And that is something that I am fighting for more preventative and routine care clinics. A lot of the times when we talk about rural hospitals or rural healthcare, we talk about it in terms of hospitals. But I always tell people, as far as I'm concerned, a hospital is the last place you want to end up at. So what is it that we can do to treat and help treat individuals prior to them needing to go to an emergency room? And then I'm also fighting for a clean land, air, and water. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So we do have a question from Noah Johnson. When elected, how will you address healthcare for rural areas?
Well, I like that we're manifesting the when elected, because we have to put that energy out there to make sure it happens. So when elected, there are multiple unique ideas that I have in terms of being able to address and increase and create these routine and preventative healthcare clinics for rural Texans. So, for example, one of the last questions had to deal with veterans, and which is important because I believe there's 9.8% or almost 10% of TX21 are veterans. And a lot of them have either do not go to the VA because it's super far, and the only one that they are near is in San Antonio, and it's like 2.5, 3 hours away from them. But I have lived experiences such as knowing that VFW clinics or VFWs, VFW posts often serve as a community hub. There's resources that are provided there. There's a lot of community work that's provided there. And so I thought, like, why don't we have this idea where we are able to create a federal grant or federal program that sets up routine and preventative healthcare clinics at VFW posts? Because you can find a VFW post almost literally anywhere. You can be out in the middle of West Texas and there will be a VFW post, if not anything else. And so we have to make sure that we're using our current infrastructure to the best of our ability. In addition to that, I also have this idea of what if we had this program, much like Teach for America, but call it
Finish
Care for
that thought.
America.
Finish that thought.
Okay, a program similar to Teach for America, but Care for America, in the sense where we would have individuals be able to train and study within the district in order for us to be able to open more healthcare clinics.
Thank you very much, Ms. Zapata. We really appreciate your joining us this afternoon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you and good luck.